she was tired, had a long day at work, came home just to get jumped by three people over a parking space. Queens, New York. Let's talk about it. They 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 talk about it. Welcome back to She Could Talk to Podcast. I'm your host, Gangali. Hey, and that's Gangalee on all streaming platforms. If you want to check out my music, look for the glasses, look for the locks. You tell me if I can rap. Okay? But over here on YouTube, when She Could Talk to Podcast, this is where I react to everything. I react to news, sports, crime, musicians, politicians, YouTubers, TikTokers. If they're talking about it, we're talking about it, okay? Okay. Well, on this episode, though, I wanted to bring it back to my hometown, New York. Okay. Now, this week, Queens has not been shown in a good light, maybe per se, but the way the community rallied around this young girl, I have to say, round of applause. New York did come together, right? And I think what it is they're tired of having that stigma and that stain to them, that they don't care about their community, they don't care about their people, and it's good to see they're coming together. But let me give you a little backstory before I rant on and on. This week in New York, a young lady by the name of Jada McPherson. I don't know if you can see on my screen, but that's her in the middle of the screen right here in all black. And that's her car right there. I don't know if you can see my mouse. But Jada is a student at Pace University. She's working full-time as well as, attending her classes. And I guess on the summer break now, she's home working, doing the right thing. She rented an apartment in this neighborhood for the summer, and she's working at a job. I don't know what kind of work she does, but she seems like a girl about her business. So shout out to you, Jada. Shout out. And she comes home from work in the Ridgewood area of Queens, and she's looking for a parking space. She circles the block, and comes back like, hey, look, there's no other parking spaces. You can't hold a parking space with a garbage can. I can see if you're, holding it with a car for another person, but you can't hold a space. Words were exchanged. And it ended with Jada being jumped by these two across the street. I don't know if you can see them, but we're going to get into it. So these two across the street, but then in addition to that, a gentleman that was sitting, off to the side as well, jumped in to commence to attack Jada. So I'm going to try and show as much as I can without being crazy. YouTube, I love you. So I send that e-kiss out to you. But I'm going to try and show as much as I can without doing too much, if that makes any sense. Because this was an interesting, several twists and turns and several plot twists, I should say. So I definitely wanted to react to this and give some commentary on it. So without further ado, we're going to start out with the fight. And I'm going to, bring your eyes or direct your attention to several things. For starters, you see the trash can in the street, right? You see the trash can is blocking, and where's my mouse? My mouse is all over the place. Here we go. The trash can blocking the parking space. There's garbage over there, everything. So this clearly makes me feel like this is their house. Up front, this is where they live at, the people right here. And, Jada's trying to park. She lives in the same block. I want you to pay attention to the aesthetics of the two aggressors, or three aggressors. And then we're going to continue on. So let's start there.
Oh, the black.
Excuse the colorful language, the racial slurs, and the profanity. So let me just say that up front. Excuse the violence. I don't condone violence or bullying in any form or fashion. And I don't condone the negative, profanity and racial slurs that are being hurled at each other. But in case you didn't hear it, she said to, this gentleman right here with the plaid pants on, said, you are a slave. And she was like, well, you're an immigrant. And then he goes, your mom's a slave and you are a Nigger. And they said, so Jada says to the effect of, whatever, I'm not arguing with y'all and I'm not fighting no men. The one in the black shirt, in a black tank top, proceeds to give the oral pleasure gesture, if you will, as in, suck my glizzy. You know what I'm talking about. I would want it for you to see it. And so Jada says, yes, exactly. I'm not fighting men. So let's go back a bit. I'm not going to stay here on this long. Well, let's listen. You see it? So she said, I'm not fighting any men. Look who rolls up. The guy with his Old Navy pajamas on and his size 13 Air Force Ones to fight Jada. He's 6'2". Jada is like 5'5", 5'4", 130 pounds. Let's continue. And I'm going to not stay here long because I just want to just see some things. Look at this guy who runs out of left field, because where was he? To attack Jada. So it's already the biggest person in the mix initiated the assault. Then he got backup from his alleged mom and his, I don't know if that's a homeboy, a relative, I don't know, to attack Jada. So I'm not going to stay here long just because of YouTube, rights. I love you, YouTube. So I'm not going to stay on that long. But I just kind of want to go back a bit so you can see how this big guy with these size 13 Air Force Ones is jumping Jada. He could have killed her. How big he is. Then this other guy is off the ground. He's literally off the ground pulling Jada's hair. So you know he pulled her hair with a force. So I'm not going to stay here long because of the violence, right?
They're all getting... Do not...
Look how this dude is. Look at him. He's ready to square up with a woman. Word on the curb is some YNs got to him. Word on the curb is some New York YNs got to him. And they had him on, I don't know, a couple of social media platforms. I don't know. But if that's the case, shout out to you YNs. Shout out. But,
Do not...
Look. So that was that, right? And then the city or the neighborhood started to rally around her. There was some protesters went out there and protested in front of the assailant's house and said, come outside. You want to fight me? Fight a man. Fight a man your size. You're 6'2". Fight me. Of course, they didn't come outside. They, played victim and tried to film through the window, right? The New York Post came out. That's like the New York newspaper, newspaper. So the New York Post came out because they had a rally on behalf of Jada in the neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is coming together on behalf of Jada. So this is what Jada had to say at the New York Post.
Days ago, some people had jumped me over a parking space. It was racially motivated because they kept pulling my hair and calling me racial slurs such as monkey and a slave and things like that. But over here I got basically jumped over a parking space, and it's just very a traumatic situation. So basically I was getting off of work, and I had pulled up to try and park, and the guy, he basically used the trash can to block me from parking. So I had left. I was just avoiding confrontation because I had already had a long day at work and things like that. So I circled around the block 3-4 times, and then I came back because it's been 30 minutes. And then I told him, I'm like, you can't hold a parking space like that, especially if you're not even...
So, and I'm going to say like this, two sides of the stories. It could be two truths in one tale, right? Because I seen on TikTok, there was some footage of Jada, somebody was on the ground. And what leads me to believe is that if you notice in the fight scene or the fight footage, there was a man sitting on the stoop in front of the parking space, right? So it leads me to believe that was the man that may have been filming for TikTok because of the angle. It was definitely someone filming from that side of the street, focused on Jada. She was yelling up at the assailant or the assailant who attacked her with the plaid pants. So they were in the window, that person. And she said, come outside, because she thought it was a woman because of the hairstyle, etc. So she said, come outside. What I'm saying? Come move this. If you want to block the parking space, I need to park my car. And she was basically encouraging the person to come outside. Yeah. So two truths in one side. I'm all about trying to keep it fair and keep it, fair. So she was frustrated because she couldn't get a parking space, and they were holding the parking space for whoever. So they had words, exchange of words through the window, like they were upstairs, she was outside. They exchanged words. Then she said, "Come outside." So they came outside. In that clip, Jada was definitely like making bold gestures, like "Yo, come outside," cursing, etc. So I won't say that she's a full-on aggressor or full-on instigator. She was frustrated because New York City and parking is hell, and then to see someone's holding a parking space and you need it. I could see where the frustration comes from, what came from, but to get to the point of violence, no. I don't agree with that. But she told him to come outside. They came outside.
Car, you're just
When they came outside, she realized that it wasn't a woman. It was men. And she said, "I'm not fighting no man." So she switched her tone up, went across the street, and kept her distance. Because she said, "I'm not fighting any man."
it with trash cans. So after that, the conversation grew. He got very erratic, he just became it was no zero, it was no 0, 5, 10. It was just 0 to 100. He blew up really fast. And then after, the video actually started when the person came downstairs and they attacked me. But way before that, it was just me, the old lady, and the man arguing. And as soon as he came downstairs, he was the one that attacked me. I feel good.
And wow, who's this guy?
He was the only one that helped. He gave me water and everything after the situation.
Yeah, I feel too bad, but I can do nothing.
Yeah, he could barely walk, so everybody in the comments.
Why he looks like, I don't know, a famous actor or something. Does he look familiar? Now, the accent definitely is throwing me off, but he has a familiar face, this guy. But it's good to see, once again, like I said, the community came together on behalf of Jada. And just the fact that it was 3v1, right? Now, if Jada was out there probably holding her own and it was an even fight, they probably wouldn't. Because this man, he just showed you his back surgery. He couldn't walk and he has a cane. He was the one that kind of went to her rescue and broke up everything, right? So, and, of course, there was people filming from both sides of the street, etc. So no one else intervened but this guy. But at the beginning, or in the whole grand scheme of thing, at least someone was there to help, I just wanted to stop and say, this guy looks crazy familiar, like an actor or something.
Wow, who's this guy?
He was the only one that helped. He gave me water and everything after the situation.
Yeah, I feel too bad, but I can do nothing.
Yeah, he could barely walk, so everybody in the comments saying that he didn't help. He could barely even walk, so...
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people were trying to make it racially motivated, like saying the neighborhood is racist, the girl is racist, the two people that attacked them is racist. It's a little bit of something going on here. But will I say it's 100% full throttle racism? No. It's an ism, but we're going to get to it.
I don't wrong him at all, but thank
I
you.
feel too bad.
Okay, thank you. If you're not here before 5 o'clock, there's basically no parking. And everybody over here works. Everybody has a job because it's New York. You have to keep a living. So me coming off of work, I always never find any parking. Parking is like a hassle. I'll be here circling the block for hours looking for parking, and I just won't find. I'll have to wait till 3 o'clock in the morning for somebody to move out the space to get a parking spot. That's how bad it is. It's speculations that I dropped charges, and I didn't drop charges. I heard that they were trying to press charges against me. So me and my family are taking basically we're taking full law action.
And I'm going to say this. She completely is 100% telling the truth. I remember growing up in New York, and my parents would have to move the car from one side of the road to the other, right? Because the street sweepers are coming through, the garbage pickup, etc. And it's like an organized schedule, right? Where you see everybody getting into their cars at a certain time and moving the car to the other side of the road. It would even be to the point, right, that you have to double park, right? So it's a row of cars parked against the curb, and then there's another row of cars parked next to that row of cars to clear this side of the road for the street sweeper and the garbage trucks, etc. And once they sweep through and clean it, then you can move your cars back. And then guess what? Tomorrow, everyone has to move their cars to the other side of the road so the street sweeper could come out and clean that side, right? Mayhem. Like, one thing when I was growing up in New York, I said, I'm not going to live in New York. I'm not going to be an adult in New York. I'm definitely leaving out of New York. Just off of that alone. Just off of that alone. The whole moving to the side parking, stuff like this. You're fighting over parking spaces when you come home. Or some people would say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to fight over parking spaces. They'll have garages where you can pay rental fees and park your car monthly, like a monthly rental. And 9 times out of 10, those are not near you, right? So you'd have to park your car and still get an Uber home or walk, depending on how far it is. But you know what I'm saying? So the convenience of having a car still is kind of like an inconvenience to some degree in New York because of the frustrations of having to find parking, neighbors, people be out there sitting on your car. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens, in the grand scheme of owning a vehicle. Now, it's a convenience to have it drive around, but the certain nuances, parking is definitely a big one.
Karma is gonna come, and I like how the community, it even brought the community together more, even as a whole. So it just, things happen for a reason. Thank you for the support. I really thank everybody for the support, because I didn't even expect it to even get this big or go viral. So
Though I lost you all for a minute there. And I'm going to say this. Jada's a young girl. She's 21 years old. She's a college student. And, as an adult, as you get older, cooler heads will prevail. Especially going through what she's went through with this situation and being attacked. She'll probably be like, you know what? It ain't worth it in the future, right? But I don't hold that against her. We all were young. We all been there. And we all, have a hot head. Especially if you're not wrong, right? Because I still don't think Jada was wrong in trying to get a parking space. I don't. So, but I do say, she was young. She's 21. So when she was yelling up at the window, you don't really think about your life too much when you're young. You know what I'm saying? The things, if you look back and you be like, damn, I used to be wild. You don't think about how many times you could have, lost your life when you're young. So I don't blame that on her. We're fearless when we're young, right? So I don't blame that on her at all. And looking at her demeanor, even when she realized they were men, and she was outnumbered, she backed up. She went back to her car, and then she said, I'm not fighting men. I'm not arguing with a man. And I think that's what triggered the assault. But overall, her demeanor during the confrontation, during the interviews, interacting with the people that supported her, she gives me a sweet girl. She doesn't give me like a menace. She doesn't give that. I don't get that energy from her. I think she was frustrated about the parking space, but menace, I don't get that vibe.
I really thank everybody for the support. It really means a lot to me. So yes, I do.
I think when we're talking, if it's
so now here we go. Here we go. And what I'm gonna do real quickly, where we at? The 4-minute marker. I'm gonna go back a bit. Boom, perfect. This is how he looked during the fight. This, he had on his Old Navy men pajamas, because I'm familiar with the set. Buy them for hubby. Old Navy pajamas, men, tall, because he's about 6'2". White Air Force Ones, looking like at least a 12, size 13, men. And he attacked Jada. Let me see if I can get up to the point where, look at the shoes. Let me get up to the point, look. Right. Right. Okay. So now let's get up to their side of the story. It was at the 4 minute marker. Boom. Here we go. This person right here is the aggressor at the beginning. Completely different vibe, right? Completely different vibe. So this is the mother and daughter. You know, I'm gonna let them tell you, but apparently she's claiming intersex. But people are saying that she's transgender, that she was born a male and transitioned into female, not fully, but is in the process of transitioning, you know. But let's get into it. So this is the mother and child.
You guys make eye contact with me, unless Daniel, do you prefer?
Yeah, you can just look at him.
And then also what I want to say before I go deep is speaking of deep, the irony. Did you hear how deep their voice was at the beginning? It was like in full man mode. Air Force Ones, size 13. I even thought it was like a little beard that they had going on. So I don't know if that was a beard, but I'm thinking it might have been like a mask under their chin, you know. But I was like, damn, they had a full beard and everything. And then transformed into this. But this is them with the same New York Post, Associated Press, New York Post, came out to their home to interview them because they're scared to go outside. You saw outside, Jada was rallying with people, the other neighbors. They're outside of this building. They're inside, scared to come out. And so the news reporter went up here to talk to them. So let's get into their commentary.
Yeah. All right. So just let me know you're rolling.
Yep, we're good.
So yeah, just to start off, could you both introduce yourselves and just spell your names for us?
Sure. Hi, my name is Andrea Dumitru, and spelling it's AndreaDumitru.
Your age?
I'm 45.
Sabrina?
I'm Sabrina Starman. I'm an intersex trans woman. It's SabrinAStarman. I'm 21 years old.
Sabrina Starman. Let me tell you one thing I have to give, disclaimer. Sabrina is loving this camera. But remember the guy in the beginning that was hurling the racial epithets at Jada that rolled up and attacked her? It was Sabrina Starman that did it. Let's go.
Guys, how long have you lived in Ridgewood?
I served my community for 40 years here, 30-something years here.
And I was like, what was she serving? Yay? What was she serving?
How long have you been at this address?
At this address, 30-something years, basically. Yeah, we served this community for 30-something years.
Do you guys rent here or do you own?
Yeah, we rent. Yeah, we rent here.
Rent stabilized?
Oh, no, my mom hasn't done that yet, but she can.
As someone who just moved last week, never leave. I'm paying like twice, so I was paying 10 years ago.
I know.
Half the space.
Absolutely, I know.
So that was a shot by the news reporter. I don't know if you could really hear him, but he said he's paying twice the money. He's been in his apartment for over 10 years. He's paying twice the money, but half the space, right? So he's asking them about their apartment, and it's like, hey, is this rent stabilized? Because this is a nice size apartment, etc., right? And they said, oh no, she says, Andrea, which is the 45-year-old, says, my mom didn't do that yet. So they still live with her mom. So grandma is in the house. This is grandma's house. They've been there 30 plus years at grandma's house, right? This child, Sabrina, was born clearly there because she's 21. So she's been at this address all her life. At grandma's house, terrorizing the neighborhood. That's the vibe I'm getting. So they've been there for 30 years. That's that entitlement that you see rolling over into the street instead of them putting the garbage pail in the parking space. Entitlement, you know? And then it's deep entitlement because their mom, you know, like, where's grandma? You're all up in grandma's house, running things. Where's grandma? And you notice how she switched her face up when he said, yeah, this is, you guys are lucky. This is a nice size apartment. I live a couple of streets over. And she like, yeah. Because it ain't even her apartment. But let's get back to it.
I appreciate you both, sitting down to speak with us today. Like I told you at the beginning, we're totally here to just...
They're calling me, these people.
No
are
problem.
harassing me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have hundreds of calls left threatening me, telling...
Is it just me? But I know that Sabrina is transgendered, so in no way am I trying to bash or anything like that. I know she's part of the LGBTQ plus community. However, it's something about her got my spidey senses tingling. First of all, the biggest thing, I'm going to save it for the end. Let me actually make a little note for myself so I can remember to circle back on this. You know what I'm saying? Make a little note. There we go. So I won't forget. Gotta make a little note for myself so I won't forget. But what I want you to do is listen to them, right? In particular, right now, we're gonna focus on the mom and look at how the mom's emotions change at the drop of a dime. Very narcissistic to me, where you can instantly cry, get back, get angry, then get back to the empathetic, sympathetic. This is the emotional roller coaster they probably put that grandmother through in that apartment. But listen, let's focus on Andrea, the redhead.
Me, how they're gonna come and kill us, degrading my daughter, misgendering her in the only horrible way possible.
So I have questions about how this has impacted you.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Horrible.
so sorry that you guys are going through that.
Horrible.
I appreciate that.
Horrible. She's suffering mental illness. It's not about this. It's what we're going through right now.
So, I tell you all the time, guys, right? Body language is a language that speaks loud. Body language is a language that speaks loud. I'm going to rewind it back a little bit to see if you catch it, and then I'll come back with the commentary. This is her, Andrea, the mother, telling you about the emotional roller coaster, the turmoil that she's been on since they attacked Jada. Okay? Let me hit play. She's telling you about the emotional turmoil they've been through.
In the only horrible way possible.
So I have questions about how this has impacted you.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Horrible.
so sorry that you guys are going through that.
Horrible.
I appreciate that.
Horrible. She's suffering mental illness. It's not.
Do you see the look the child is giving the mom? Them two fight in the house. They don't have fist fights in the house, and that's why Sabrina and whatever, that's why they didn't think it was nothing to attack Jada. Because they fight each other. That's the vibes I get. You ever see a family like this that their shit just spills out into the neighborhood, into the street? Maybe police is always at their house, or you always hear them arguing and fighting, or, the kids getting beat all the time. That's the vibe I get from them. They're that household. And don't, okay, I'm going to give my disclaimer. This is my opinion, guys. Don't bite me, okay? I have friends in the LGBT community. I have family members. Everyone's free to live their life. That's not what I'm going with this. But hear me out. Could it be that Andrea, the mom, has her own inner turmoil with her son's decision to transition to a woman? Could it be? We see in this day and age a lot of parents are supportive of it. I feel like let every child turn 21, and as an adult, you do what you want to do. I can't tell you what to do or not once you become an adult that can take care of yourself. But could it be they have a little bit of turmoil? And the reason why I say that, because she said, and every time she refers to her child as she, it's like a little stuttering or a little hesitance. It's almost like it's hurting her to have to refer to her son as her daughter. Then she says, she has mental issues. And then she said, and it's not because of this. Right? And the way she gestured her hand, and it's not because of this. That's like saying it's not the transgendered or transitioning that's causing her mental issues. But I feel like inside she feels like it is. I'm only giving my opinion, guys. Don't bite me. But I feel like she feels a way about her son transitioning, and they have fights about that in the house, and then it spills over into the street every now and then. Maybe neighbors, other people like Jada becomes the victim of it. You know, that was a great way to release that tension that they have built up towards each other. But I'm gonna go back a little bit. Now that I've said that to you, let's look at the mom when she gestures about Sabrina having mental issues.
In the only horrible way possible.
So I have questions about how this
Absolutely.
has impacted you.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Horrible.
so sorry that you guys are going through that.
Horrible.
I appreciate that.
Horrible. She's suffering mental illness. It's not about this. It's what we're going through right now. I never in my life has experienced.
So you heard that, right? She's suffering mental, and it's not about this, but it's about this. Like, what was the mom saying? And look at after she said that, look at the daughter's face, right? Salty. Did I say that Sabrina's 6'3"?
Such
Look at them
trauma.
legs.
And not only that, I
Like
have
those legs look like they should be on a basketball player or something.
a little one, and I have appointments, and I have surgeries coming up. I have a dog. My mom is older. I fear for my life. I've been threatened. I haven't been sleeping since I got out of jail. I haven't been able to.
Do you remember her in the beginning? She was like, "S my D." Like she was giving out glizzy hors d'oeuvres in the beginning. Do y'all remember that? And Jada was confused because they both, well, Sabrina's talking very demure, very mindful right now. Very demure, very mindful. But in the beginning, in the fight scene, it was like, "Yo, your mama slay." Like it was very aggressive behavior from both of them. So I can understand and see where Jada thought it was men and backed up and was like, "I'm not fighting these men." You know? What lady tells you to suck her eggplant?
The rest, I have not been eating. I've been feared for my life. Feared.
180, right? She was all like aggressive, jumping the girl, calling out her name, but now she's scared for her life.
I'm scared. They're threatened. They're doing exactly what they're saying. I had 2 women come up in here, and the police escorted them out. When I told them, "Hurry up, please," because they were coming here at my door and they were threatening us when that riot was going down outside. They came and I told them, "Why did you just escort them? I told you to."
And that's the crazy thing to me. To me, I feel like they're a little bit racist, especially the mom. She's supposed to be Romanian, and then she had kids with a Spanish man, this is the result of that relationship, this child right here. But she says a lot of things that makes me feel like she does not respect black people as a race. And now that she's kind of caught in these crosshairs right here of being viral for being a not good person online, she's trying to hit the victim card hard. But look at how her child, look at the face that the child is like. She gives, Sabrina gives her mom some very, very, very ice cold stares, piercing stares from time to time, like, "You better say the right thing. I will knock you out. You know I'm not scared to hit you," type of vibe. Let's watch.
Arrest them. Why are they here? Because they threatened that they're gonna kill us. I have it all in proof. I can't live like that.
So,
No one deserves to live like this.
oh,
No one.
so I'm so sorry.
I know.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Let's rewind to the day
Okay.
of
And I want to shout out the New York Post, the journalist who, well, actually, let me give her a hand clap, because the journalist that interviewed them gave a foreword on his video, right? So definitely you can go and check him out. But he gave a foreword of saying this was the most humiliating, horrible apology ever, because allegedly this was supposed to be them telling their side of the story and then apologizing to Jada for attacking her. But let's continue.
the incident, if it's okay.
Absolutely.
Your side of the story. I mean, just tell us in your own words what happened? I mean, we've all seen the video.
Yes,
what
absolutely.
What triggered the incident?
Okay, so I wasn't even here when all of this happened. I came probably like 15 minutes out of that whole situation, whatever happened outside. I don't know. I came and I approached the young woman. I said, excuse me, what's going on? But there was no type of communication with the woman whatsoever, because all she kept saying is, shut up, bitch, shut up, bitch, shut up, bitch. I couldn't even, she did not even give me the opportunity to be like, take the parking. Just take the parking. It's not that serious. Take it. If that, she didn't give me the opportunity.
So that's why in the beginning, I wanted to stress and emphasize to pay attention to this scenario. Remember, Jada was standing by her car. The garbage cans were in the parking space. And then there was a New York Transit bus that was kind of stopped. You know, I don't know if it was stopped because of the traffic or whatever. The streets tend to be kind of narrow in some neighborhoods, so I don't know if the bus could not get around Jada's car, so they was just caught in the group chat. But she mentioned, Andrea over here mentions that that Jada didn't give her an opportunity to take the parking space. Like, here, just take it, right? We seen in the video where they was hurling insults back and forth with each other. Why not at that moment, as the mother, right? And the adult of both of them, because she's 45, Jada's 21, Sabrina's 21, right? So both of them are kids, young adults, and one adult, and also one parent. Why wouldn't you say, you know what? Because they said that they was holding the parking space for her. She was there. Where was your car? Right? So hear me out. Why in that moment there, you just didn't move the garbage onto the curb and say, you know what? F this. Park it. Park the car. We're done. Don't say nothing else to me. Right? And Jada could have got the parking space. You two would not have gotten charges. And we wouldn't have known Sabrina's secret. Because clearly Sabrina stays in the house and she hides from the world. So we wouldn't know anything about Sabrina. Sam. But anyway, let's get back to it.
She kept cursing me out. She kept degrading me, calling me white trash.
Assuming what ethnicity
You have
she
no, I don't
is.
even know the words. I don't.
So that's my thing. White trash is an insult now? I don't know. But on top of that, yeah, she's Romanian. But I would think Spanish, you know, hood Spanish before I would think white. That's just me. But she got upset about that, allegedly. But she called them immigrants. So which one did she call you? White trash or immigrants? Which one was it? Because I don't think you can really be both, right? I don't know.
I can't even explain the things that this woman has said to me for 45 minutes constantly. I was sitting on the stoops. She was mentally
She was
driving me
coming for
insane. You guys
everyone.
have no idea the way she was cursing me out. She was calling me Mexican.
And so I'm gonna tell you like this: somebody need to get Sabrina on Legendary. Y'all ever saw that show on HBO Max? Legendary. Megan Thee Stallion was up there. You know, Sabrina needs to audition for that show, or get RuPaul on the line, because she is smizing with those eyes.
You fucking immigrant. Excuse me, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use this type of
It's okay.
okay?
They can beep out whatever
You
they.
immigrant, get the fuck out of here, you white trash bitch. You're not gonna get this fucking parking. All I was telling her is, let's wait for the police. Let's wait for the police. Let's wait for the police to see who's gonna get the parking. If we could find out to get that camera to see how I was sitting on my step for 45 minutes, I haven't done absolutely nothing. We were waiting for the
Jada was on the phone getting the police and said, I am not arguing with men, which triggered Sabrina in his size 13 Air Force Ones and Old Navy men pajamas to attack.
the police to come. While I was sitting there for 45 minutes, there was a group of people. No one came to defend anything. No one came to break absolutely anything, meaning to push her on the side, because the words she was saying, and not only to me, to all the other colored people around me, calling us Mexicans, calling us that were illegal here, a bunch of insane things. Then she was disrespecting my daughter, misgendering her, calling her a man, calling her a tranny, calling
A
guys.
transvestite.
I don't know the words that this woman that came out.
And so on their side, I give it to them. Jada said that. Jada said, I'm not fighting no men, and I'm not fighting a transvestite. Jada assessed the situation. It came to a conclusion. I'm not mad at that. Jada was right. You saw when she realized that, these are big men. She stepped back. She retreated a little bit. And I told you at the beginning of me here, I seen footage of her on TikTok where she was like, come outside, come outside. Because if you're looking up at someone at a second floor window, you might think it's one way until this 6'3" person comes outside with size 13 Air Force Ones on, and then you're like, okay, I'm in over my head. I'm in over my head.
Of her mouth, it was unbelievable. The mental trauma that I had from her, for her calling you old bitch, shut the fuck up, you old bitch. Shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, bitch. All you use is getting smacked.
Sabrina is looking at his mom like, I call you that every day. I don't know. The vibe I get from these two, my spidey senses, is that they fight each other. They're not happy with living with each other. And mom is not 100% on board with what her son chose to do with his life and what lifestyle he chose. Everyone's free to choose. Sabrina is 21. He's free to choose, But I feel like there's a little turmoil there, and then this blew up, right? So this is viral because her child attacked someone else, so they're super viral. But on top of it, to me, and this is the part that I'm not even gonna wait a little bit. I'm trying to wait. So let me get through it.
Back today. All of you are gonna get fucked up today. I'm gonna call my brothers and my father, and it was so much happening. I don't really remember, but I remember she was disrespecting.
After she got jumped and got dragged by two men and one woman, she said, I'm not fighting y'all. I'm going to go and get my brother or go get my man. Something to the effect she said, which is probably something I would say too if some men jumped me. Yeah, I understand.
And the only way, brutalizing me mentally, provoking the situation instead of her just stopping and being. I was trying to communicate with her when I first got there because I didn't even know what was going on. I tried to be like, all right, what's going on? Shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch, you fucking immigrant. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking immigrant.
Do you believe that?
Everybody's gonna get it today. Kept on.
Trump gonna get y'all.
Yes, Trump is gonna deport you, take you out of here. I wish we can get for you guys to hear the other side of everything that just happened. Mentally.
So this was going on for like
45 minutes, around the 30 to.
I feel like they personally, my opinion, don't bite me. I feel like they're using every triggering point they could think of to garner sympathy. But we've seen the video, Sabrina, Sam, Andy, Andrea. We've seen the video, right? And to me, I feel like that's another insult to the community at large. When she started, she was like, oh, they're threatening me. Then she went into mode. I might have a dog. I got surgery. I'm sick. My mom, my this, my that, my this, my that. That should have been enough to say, you know what? This ain't worth it. Let me move the garbage. Take the parking space. Right? We all get to live another day. If you really were concerned about the things that you have going on in your life, my opinion. But I feel like right now they're trying to garner any type of, they're pulling at straws from the air to garner sympathy from anyone. Trump is going to get you. They called us immigrants. There was racial slurs, all the colored people around, white trash. She's pulling at every scenario that would get people triggered, right? Every scenario. I also feel like the extreme plot twist in Sabrina. Sabrina was very masculine, very manly, and during the fight, right? But sitting here very demure, very mindful, have their hands clasped in their lap. Their knees are closed together like the dainty, demure, mindful woman she's portraying, right? But it blew my mind when I saw this interview because, well, who's this girl? Because where's the guy that was fighting in the video? And then now she comes out looking super feminine to garner that from maybe the LGBTQ community plus women, right? Hey, look, I wasn't a man beating her up. I'm a woman too. 6'3". Not saying there's not tall women, but let's look at these legs. Let's look at her. And like if you freeze it, certain shots you'll be like, okay. But let's continue.
For 45 minutes.
And what time did like that recording happen into the account?
This was in the beginning. When I tried to approach her nicely, I went there nicely. I have my witnesses, but there's everybody scared to speak because everybody's scared of what happened.
Right.
Nobody wants to get involved now because everybody look how they're reacting. And saying, I'm not saying I was right. I was extremely wrong. I regret it. If I can turn back time and just not none of that to happen, I would.
Lies.
I sincerely regret it. With all my heart, I have not had in peace since then.
And specifically, you regret the violence.
I regret that. It was very wrong of me to do. Very wrong of me to do. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. I regret it. But to get humiliated and mentally abused for 45 minutes, her calling me names and provoking the situation because she was...
Now, I don't know if this is drugs. I don't want to just label people. But mama is super high strung. And mama gives me temper, violence, and temper, right? And then what you breed is what you beget, right? So that's her child. The turmoil, the short temper, the wanting to put your hands on people, lack of emotional intelligence. It comes from the mom, right? Because look at her sitting there. Her veins in her arms are even popping out, right? She's so trying to come off like the victim, but she just can't because she's not a victim. She's never been a victim in her life. She's a tough cookie. Andrea is a tough cookie. And watch how this one, Sabrina, looks at her. It's like, you better say the right thing. You talking too much. You doing too much. And then she steps in to kind of corrects it to keep them back on track.
If she was nice and be like, look, ma'am, I'm trying to get the... No, it wasn't like that. That's the thing. She chose the violence. She provoked the situation after 45 minutes, humiliating me, degrading me.
She chose violence. We saw who was the aggressor, right? We saw, look, my mouse is over the aggressor. And I think the visuals is throwing people off, maybe just a little bit. Maybe that was the intent of this interview. Get her dressed up, dolled up. Look at me. I'm even saying her. But get her dressed up, get her dolled up. Look, I'm a woman too. I don't know who that man was out there that beat up Jada. It wasn't me.
Calling me all types of racial names. Nobody was racial here. I'm not racist. My kids are Hispanic.
We need to make that clear though. She started the racial comments.
Right.
Not only with us, but with strangers that were trying to just help out the situation before me and her even got to the point, to that location that she was throwing out her trash cans. We didn't really get the chance to really have like a nice communicative
whatsoever
conversation with her. She just went straight to insults.
And Sabrina, did you feel compelled to stick up for your mother, and is that why?
Of course.
So just tell me in your own words what happened.
So basically,
and you both great, by the way. Thank you.
I was upstairs, and I got a phone call from my mom.
Listen. Gaslight. The dude says, and I don't know, it could be his, preferences, because Sabrina is about to take over the show. Okay, I'm gonna just let y'all know she's gonna be giving you eyes, shoulders, shimmy, leg, face. The word. She needs to go on Legendary. Look that show up. But
and you both great, by the way. Thank you.
I was upstairs,
and you heard the guy said, and you both look great, by the way. Thank you. When Sabrina started to reposition herself. So it might be a type, it might be a love connection in the works, right? But she is going to go ham on that camera. Look.
I got a phone call from my mom just to check out what was going on because she heard from other neighbors that someone was yelling outside of our house for a parking. So I just went out my window and asked, like, what's going on?
What happened?
What's going on, bitch? Like, that's how I talk as a person. It's not, it wasn't insinuated.
Now, right here, look at mama, look at child. You notice how mama said, what happened there? And she corrected and said, I said, what's up, bitch? I think mama's like, first of all, we in this problem because you jumped in. You were the aggressor, right? And then she's probably saying to herself, like, I wish I just would have gave her the parking space. We wouldn't even be here right now. But a lot of people are reaming mom online, right? And, because she's the woman, I guess, in the fight, the other woman in the fight, and those are your kids, right? So they're saying, like, the mom is wrong. But you see how she said, I'm not going to be under this bus by myself. And she said, what did you say? What happened then? So let's go back a bit. Like, she's like, you're going to get this L with me too.
Someone was yelling outside of our house for a parking. So I just went out my window and asked, like, what's going on?
What happened?
What's going on, bitch? Like, that's how I talk as a person. It's not, it wasn't insinuated towards anyone.
So that's downplaying, once again, downplaying their aggression, downplaying their entitlement, and downplaying just the way they come off as people in the community because they're on camera. It's like, how they always say, like, when the cameras are off, you'll see something different. You roll those cameras, everyone's ready to, and action, And we're definitely seeing Sabrina in action right now.
I was just trying to figure out what was going on because it was crazy screaming, aggravation, insults being thrown by her to other people
as well.
So
calling me an old bitch.
Okay, no, but you didn't get there yet for that.
You're right. I wasn't there.
She told me to come outside.
Right.
Towards.
Do you see the aggression, or not even aggression, the tension between mother and child? As more goes on into the interview, you're going to see that, Bill. Pay attention. This is really why I wanted to react to this, right? Because I feel like Jada was just a byproduct on that day of an ongoing tense living situation between these two. Maybe grandma, they say, is another disabled, individual in the house with them in addition to grandma. Tense, right? Tense living situation. I think Jada was just a byproduct. But watch the interaction between child and mother.
Someone was yelling outside of our house for a parking, so I just went out my window and asked, like, what's going on?
What happened?
What's going on, bitch? Like, that's how I talk as a person. It's not, it wasn't insinuated towards anyone. I was just trying to figure out what was going on because it was crazy screaming, aggravation, insults being thrown by her to other people
as well.
So
calling me an old bitch.
Okay, no, but you didn't get there yet for that.
You're right. I wasn't there.
She told me to come outside, bitch. Everybody.
Did you see how mom, when she was like, no, but you wasn't there for that? You saw how mom moved over? And you notice every time Sabrina talks, mom is looking down or looking away. There's a little bit of hurt on mom's face. Look at right now, the frozen shot. Sabrina's sitting there in all her glory. She has cameras on her. She has the lights. She's shimmying. She got her outfit on. She's enjoying this moment. Sabrina. Mom, not so much. Mom seems bothered on several levels. But every time Sabrina talks, look at mom.
I'm gonna get slapped today. And I was just thinking about my mom, because I know the parking is being held for her. I just, for the safety of my mother, I wanted to see what was going on. The moment my mom had arrived and approached her calmly, she just started calling.
Did we see anyone approach Jada calmly? Did we? And to be fair, the cameras started at a point, right? And we always know that the cameras once we see it, like, well, why did they catch this? More than likely, the camera person felt like it was about to get heated, right? So we don't really know. Well, I've seen some stuff on TikTok with a different angle of Jada going off, right? Now, she wasn't like, F you, come down here, let's fight. She was like, yo, y'all can't be holding the parking space. Like, what the F is this? Y'all can't be just, saving a parking space, which is understandable, right? She wasn't calling for violence, in my opinion.
Her racial slurs,
She wouldn't shut up.
threatening her,
She wouldn't
calling
shut
her
up.
old ugly bitch.
She wouldn't shut up. She
The
wouldn't
whole
shut up
9 yards.
whatsoever, like at all.
The whole 9 yards. So
You know how they say sometimes people will project onto a thing, but the bane of their disdain could be literally sitting next to them on the sofa. That's the vibe I feel here. Look at her face. She has not once looked at her child and been like, exactly, right? Like a supportive situation. Sabrina's looking at the mom like, oh no, mom, that didn't happen yet. The safety of my mom, this, that, and another. Mom is finding it hard to reciprocate that to her child. My opinion.
officially got out the building, and I slightly approached her to see what was going on. And I was like,
She ain't do no slightly, nothing.
These insults were being heard by everyone for a whole 30 minutes straight. She wouldn't stop yelling, and I would understand if we reacted that way for a parking, but it wasn't for a parking. It was the way she approached us and provoked us for a whole 30 minutes straight, till the 45-minute mark where we got arrested because we were just only sticking up for ourselves.
So,
Do you see the drama? Sabrina better get on Legendary, girl. Get on Legendary. You can get some money and get out your mama house and go find your tribe. I'm telling you. Megan Thee Stallion was on that show. I don't know.
you also explain to what was going on with the parking. So they were trying to save the spot for you. That was
Yes.
So yeah, just tell me what was happening.
And she was hosted. She was not, Megan Thee Stallion was not one of the competitors. She was a judge, I should say, on the show. But it was a good show in the grand scheme of talent shows or whatever, with a twist. The twist being Sabrina would probably be a great candidate for that show.
Before she pulled up and just.
I was not there.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't there. I got there late
Got it.
when everything had happened already.
But
I
they
don't
were
know,
okay.
absolutely not. He is not our family.
So he's just a neighborhood
He's
guy.
just a, yes.
Got it.
He is.
Remember the other guy that I said, dude was off the ground, had both feet levitated, pulling Jada's hair out her head, right? That dude. So they're asking, like, is that a relative? Because where did he come from? Just instantly ready to jump in and help.
My neighbor, and
I think they share and partake in paraphernalia together, personally.
we know each other for years.
I
From
bet
here,
you
from
do.
The street, from everybody knows each other here.
Sure. So going back to
They've been hanging out since the crack era.
how this incident impacted you guys, do you fear for your safety? right now?
Absolutely, and I can have proof for.
I haven't slept in days.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
eaten anything.
Look at what we
Let's watch Sabrina. I haven't slept for days. And that's the thing for me. I be like, I can't take the interpretation of a woman like, this is how you think women act. No, we're regular people. You know what I'm saying? I haven't slept for days. Now, when I'm ready, hubby will tell you I'm dramatic, but not like this. I haven't slept for days. Smizing the whole time. I'm very demure, very mindful.
I haven't got to step outside. I usually don't ever step outside, but at the moment prior to this this situation that happened, I was just starting to feel comfortable in my own skin to step out, and I can no longer do that. And God knows how long we'll be able to get that chance to be safe again or feel safe.
Do you know? I'm a freezer right here. Do you notice? Do you notice, Mom? Every time her child talks, she just looks off into the sunset. She always like, it's almost as if she's saying to herself, this is not what I envisioned for us. However that might land. But it's tension between them two. So this has Jada, this has nothing to do with you, but get your coin. You press them charges, you sue, do whatever you need to do. Jada. But in the grand scheme of things, you were just a byproduct in their tension. Look. Look at mama face. 45. Yikes.
In our own environment.
Is it okay if I ask when you transition? That's what you mean, right?
Sure. So I'm an intersex person biologically. I have both female and male characteristics. I'm not gonna.
Look at the mom's face. So the guy said, is it okay? Can we ask you about your transition? And she said, sure, perked up, flipped the hair over, and said that she's an intersex. And I like to make sure I'm doing things and giving correct information. So I wanted to make sure I'm looking at that correctly. Boom. Here we go. Let's see. Intersex. What is intersex? So intersex is an umbrella term for individuals born with one or more traits in their chromosomes, genitals, hormones, or internal reproductive organs that do not fit with the typical male or female patterns. This includes having both male and female characteristics, which can manifest at birth or later in life. Importantly, being intersex is a natural occurring variation in humans and is not considered a disease. So there's an island somewhere where the kids were all born and they were like pretty little girls, right? And then they hit puberty and turned to boys. And everyone was saying that they were intersex because, you know, they looked like pretty little girls. Like you couldn't tell that they were not girls. Like they would wear dresses and everything. You thought these were little girls. And look it up. It's a true story. This is true. And when they hit puberty, they change. And then they're boys. Now, some are still girls. You know, some are still girls. But then some just instantly is undeniable what they are, boys, right? And so they take their dresses off of them and, you know, give them men duties or whatever. I thought that was very interesting because I was like, what? But come to find out, it is something natural, right? In some instances, you've heard it being referred to, and I don't know, I might be telling my age with this one, but back in the days, they used to call it hermaphrodites, right? And they would say, that's a person that would have two parts or, you know, certain characteristics of each. But as they mature, as they grow, like for example, it may look like a boy, right? But then when they hit puberty, they get a period. Go to the doctor, realize they have a full reproductive system, you know, uterus, ovaries, and they are in fact women, right? Intersex. Because you really don't know until puberty kicks in, right? I don't think that I think that was the incorrect term that she used for herself because intersex does not transition, right? It's two different things. An intersex person, as they grow, as puberty hits, nature, God's nature takes over and kicks in what they are supposed to be, right? It is a little awkward because I've seen it, you know, especially back in the days when they didn't have a lot of study and support and stuff for it. You would see boys dressed as little girls, right? And then they're like, I'm a boy. Like, you have a son there, ma'am. It's like, no, because when they were younger, they might have thought it was a girl. Then they got older and puberty kicked in and it's a boy. I know I'm going off the deep end with that, but look that up and then look up that island where those kids it's happening to them. They're intersex. But she is not intersex. Because transitioning is when you go from one to the other, right? Voluntarily. Willfully. Not naturally. right? So let's get back to her talking about that.
Really break that down right now.
No worries.
But I have
Just so we're
had started hormones when I was 15.
No worries. I broke it down for you. She said that she's intersex, but she didn't want to break that down right now. Then she switches to a completely different thing that you can't do or be done if you're intersex, and that's transition, taking hormones to become a woman.
I'm 21 now. It's almost 6 years. I am fully
But let's go back over here to
transitioned,
Mama.
so
It's okay.
Let's look at Mama in the mix of what. Let's listen to the child, but let's look at Mama.
Fast when you transition? That's what you mean, right?
Sure. So I'm an intersex person biologically. I have both female and male characteristics. I'm not gonna really break that down right now.
No worries.
But I have
Just so we're
had
accurate.
started hormones when I was 15.
Do you see
I'm
Mom?
21 now. It's almost 6 years. I am fully transitioned, so for them to try to come for me and continuously call me a man, put my ID on the internet, all my information, I feel like this is violence. Shouldn't condone violence. Violence shouldn't be.
But you started it. You see what I'm saying? If Mama would have said, you know what, forget this. I'm the adult here. Here's the parking space. Take it. Gave them the parking space, right? They could have all lived for another day, and Sabrina's secret would have still been in the house, right? But when she got arrested, her ID still has her male name. Not intersex, okay? Mama's body language also makes me feel like it's not intersex, because that's something that you would have had to been dealing with since birth, meaning that the mother, the parent, would have been well versed in her child's, medical issues and, been more vocal in saying what's going on and defending. Like, my child is not, this is this, right? But she's giving me the vibes of a mom who reluctantly is accepting her son's transition.
With violence, I feel like people chose to be violent because they were unaware of what actually happened and one side of the story was being put out. But I feel like if you want to protest and you want to stand up for one another, a violent protest is not the way. Trying to break into our building is not the way.
Right.
Hundreds of death threats is not the way. Coming for my disabled brother that can't walk, can't fend for himself.
But you saw how big and did you see the way she manhandled Jada? That was not the way, Sabrina. That was not the way. You don't even seem like you have a car, but you're fighting over a parking space. And your mom was in attendance in this fight. So where was her car that you had to hold the coveted parking space for? Why wasn't it in the parking space? You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot to me here. Like, you could apply that to yourself. It was not the way, Sabrina.
Only 12 is not the way.
So can I show you guys something?
Of course.
This was posted in social media purporting to show the third individual. It's not a real video.
Right.
But this was posted online, basically. Third individual from the incident the other day, kidnapped, gun to his head, restrained.
I can't look like that.
So I don't know if it's true or not, because he said it's not a real video, but then he says, it kind of went in and out. And then he said they kidnapped him, put a gun to his head. YNs. So I don't know, and you guys let me know out there, did they catch the third guy? Because I'm hearing some stuff saying that he caught that third guy, the one that was levitating, pulling the hair, looking like a little crackhead. Did they get him? Did they get him? Did the YNs tie him up to the pole and kidnap him? Did they do that? So, and then the way they looked at the video that the journalist showed them, you see Sabrina's body language now? Because it's one thing to jump into the ring and fight a girl smaller than you, right? But then there's another thing to actually have to fight a man that's 6'3".
It never happened, obviously. But the fact that these hoaxes are
Right.
coming up. I mean, what have you seen that video, by the way, and what did you
No.
think about it?
This is the first time that I'm seeing this.
How does that make you feel?
I have no words. I have no words. I'm scared for my life.
People were applauding.
Drama.
this
She's
video.
dramatic.
So, how do you think I feel when people were doing that for that? Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Is this is right? Because I was wrong, but is that right? I'm admitting that I'm wrong. I regret everything that happened. I regret it. I regret it.
Let me tell
wish
you.
I could turn back time and be more wisely and think. Nobody wanted any of that. It's not my style to do any of that. It's not my character. Turn back time and be more wisely and think.
So, I think this is why the dude, the journalist, plus myself, plus anyone else who may have come across this interview and reacted to it, says the same thing. I personally feel like they were talking to each other, mother and child over here. It has nothing to do with us. They were talking to each other. The reason why I say that is because she didn't do the fighting. She tried to hold her back several times. She tried to hold her son back because he was in son mode then several times. But then he broke loose. He said, "Here, hold my phone," and proceeded to fight. And then she jumped into, right? So the mass, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like the group violence, you know what I'm saying? The group think, the group thought was in effect. Once one kicked in, it rolled down, and then here comes the third crackhead rolling up. It was just mayhem, right? But now here talking to the journalist, Mama's talking to Sabrina because Sabrina basically came outside and was the catalyst of it.
Nobody wanted any of that. It's not my style to do any of that. It's not my character to do any of that. But being mentally abused for 45 minutes, the woman would not stop, humiliate me, disrespect me, call me all types of names that
So
you guys
what?
can even imagine. Like, I don't even know how could she do something like that?
They looked at Jada and thought they were better.
Your actions.
Yes, I do.
I'm in touch with her. Do you have any message for her?
I'm sorry. I'm truly,
wanna say
really
that-
sorry.
I apologize for approaching myself the way I did after being provoked. It's not
And she
the
knows that.
answer.
And she knows the truth. She knows.
I want to apologize for approaching myself after being provoked. That's the first apology. Then the mom says, and she knows the truth. She knows the truth. That's not an apology, y'all. That's not an apology.
I know she knows.
It's not the answer or the solution to stop a situation, but people like me have fought for so much in this country, on this world, and I've dealt with so much trauma in the past for being who I am as a person, for
Look at
people
mama.
like us, and that of course doesn't.
Look at mama's face. The body language, they're like pulling apart from each other. Like, there's tension there. And this is just my observation and my spidey senses. Jada, just go sue them because it was injustice there. So definitely get your justice for yourself. And I hope that you move and move to a peaceful area with preferably a parking garage or assigned parking spaces. I don't know. I don't even know if they got that. I don't know. But these two got tension beyond that parking space, or tension beyond this whole viral moment that they're experiencing. In her mind, she blames this person right here. She blames Sabrina.
I mean that I should have been, that I should have expressed myself the way I did to her. I don't condone violence, but I have suffered immensely.
Do you see that? Every time she talks, Mama's like, God. Because she's saying to herself, based on the body language, we would not be here if it wasn't for you. And then we probably wouldn't be viral if you weren't, in your natural habitat when you fought her. And then now you try to clean it up and come up here looking like a woman. Like, oh, I'm a woman too. I'm demure too. Showed no signs of demure or mindfulness in that in that violent video.
And hearing that being said in the public. is
Can't
not
even get it
fair.
out.
It was insulting, it was degrading. It hurt me. I felt offended. So I felt.
So this part right here, I want you to pay attention to, because I'm not staying long. I'm going to get off of here soon. But I want you to pay attention to when Mom and Sabrina finally gives each other eye contact. And I'll be right back.
My
For the rest of our
instinct
lives.
was just to protect the trans community, intersex people, Latino, Hispanic people. It wasn't meant to hurt her, but it was just out of a simple reaction. I've been suffering a lot immensely for years, so you would have to understand if this is my reaction.
Sorry, I'm just. So.
Sure.
Did you see that? Did y'all see that? Right? That was the icing on the cake to say that she's been suffering for years mentally and using, and that's the thing, right? Because anything that we choose to do in life, I'm a firm believer we choose to do it, right? You know, I won't beat the Diddy dead horse down, but you know, Diddy didn't like he didn't grab those women and put a net over them and drag them into the party. A lot of them rolled up willingly, right? No one forced Sabrina to transition, right? She did that. She said that's her truth and she's living in it. But now she's a victim, you know, because she chose to live in her truth. She's a victim. That's not why you're a victim. And no one could care less. You've been doing this for like 5 years. The community, society at large is more susceptible and more, you know, confirming or comforting, you know, to the LGBTQ plus community. So that's not it. I feel like own up to your responsibilities. You jumped that girl. You were bigger than her. And you knew you had the upper strength on her, which is why you jumped her. And then when guys came around, that was like, yo, because from the video, everyone was like, did this dude just jump the girl? So they went to the block looking for you, right? And when they got to the block, they were confused, like, wait, hold up. The plot thickens, right? But I don't think it was anything about your sexuality, your preference of transitioning. That's not what got you here. What got you here is the racial epithets, the attacking of a girl half your size. You could put Jada on Jada's own shoulders, and she still would not be as tall as Sabrina, right? And I'll go back to it just quickly at the beginning because YouTube, I love you. So I won't play too much of the violence. But let's continue. I really like now, and to me, this is the reason why I'm kind of having like a little rant right now, is because even if you did want to feel empathy for these two right here and what they're going through, the look she gave her mom and the mom gave them was like, we did it. We accomplished the job. And they start to smile with each other. The range of emotions does not match up with what they're saying out their mouth. But look, watch Sabrina when she finished talking and her mom looks at her.
Other questions is kind of meta, what we were just kind of talking about, parking in the neighborhood. I have some specific questions about that. Just tell me.
Wait, let me go back a bit.
Reaction. I've been suffering a lot immensely for years, so you would have to understand if this is my reaction.
Look.
I'm just. So.
Sure.
Did you see? Did you see that? Let me see if I can freeze it on it. The sly Cheshire cat.
Simple reaction. I've been suffering a lot immensely for years, so you would have to understand if this is my reaction.
Sorry, I'm just.
There we go. Look at them. They're enjoying this moment. All right. Well, Sabrina's enjoying this moment. She has the cameras on her. She's gonna tell you what her goals and her endeavors is in one more minute. She's enjoying. She's hamming it up for the camera. She's smiling. She's playing with hair. She's very demure, very mindful. The mom is tortured. The mom is like, "You think this is a game?" Look how the mom looks at him, her. You think this is a game?
So
Look.
Sure.
one of my other questions
And then you see when she see the smile, she turns back around. The mom. Look at the mom.
is kind of meta, what we were just kind of talking about, parking in the neighborhood. I have some specific questions about that. Just tell me how crazy is it to park in Ridgewood?
Crazy, like an hour or two sometimes, or 3 maybe.
So
We were
why
actually
would you?
inspired by
So why would you not be considerate of your neighbors if you know that it's parking is obsolete over there?
someone from down the block and someone that actually lives from our street to put out a street cone so that we can like save parking. It wasn't intentional to really block or make traffic or not let people park
And we're
where
not
they're
the only one
where
that
they
does that.
rightfully should, but out of that inspiration and the havoc of having crazy parking situations in general in the Ridgewood community, we just felt inspired by others to also be a part of that, but it wasn't meant to hurt anyone.
They were inspired to take their entitlement to the street. That's it. Because for you to pull out a cone and park and put it, or a garbage pail, whatever, and put it in the space, to hold a space for someone who's not there, that's kind of bananas to me.
Right. It wasn't. No, none of this was meant. Nobody wanted. There's no race.
But do you see? This is Sabrina. Right here. Let me see. See if you can hear the voice.
Oh,
The black.
Did you hear that deepness in the voice? That's Sabrina in the black and white shirt and plaid pants. Voice was super deep, right? But I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna say justice for Jada. Get your justice, girl. Less entitlement. That's the advice I give Andrea and Sabrina. Justice for Jada. Less entitlement for Andrea and Sabrina. And learn to be nice to people of different colors. We may not all look alike, but when we all bleed, we bleed the same color. As I always say it all the time, there's only one race, the human race, regardless of despite of, what people want to say or not say or agree or disagree with. It's only one race. So learn to be nicer to each other. Shout out to the Queens community that rallied around Jada. Shout out to that neighbor that went and helped Jada. Sabrina needs to go ahead and hit up Legendary or RuPaul. I think they would love her. But I'm gonna leave it right there. You guys tell me what y'all think. Was this a fair fight? Was this even? Because Sabrina considers or basically considers himself a woman, right? Is it justifiable? Is it okay for Jada to be beat up by Sabrina? Let me show you Sabrina's Air Force Ones just to give you some perspective. Look at that shoe. Look at that shoe. And we're gonna leave it right there. But you already know how I do. If you like anything I do, tell a friend. If you don't like anything I do, tell a friend. And from my lips to your ears, I love you, but I need you to go ahead and love me. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. Hit that like. Join me in the comments, all right? And then share it and tell a friend and tell a friend. Until next time, it's your girl Gangali. It's She Could Talk the Podcast, and I'm out. Peace. They talk about it. They talk about it.